for Swarthmore, game number 7 for Hopkins, and we're about to get underway. And we are underway at Clothier. And we'll see if any team tries to really come out firing, or will they try to feel each other out a little bit. As Hopkins has control of the ball early. Coming all the way to the near side, Falzerano over to number 25, Andrews. Looks to make a move, and Hopkins will retain control. Short to Meyer. Meyer will bring it back, and they'll reset. In goal for the Blue Jays, Morgret, a grad student, 6 feet tall. He has played every minute this season in goal. They like him a lot. This is his 3rd school. His latest, Penn State, St. Francis before that, 2 years at each. Right now, 13th in the nation in save percentage. And 1st in shutouts, by the way. Down the far side comes Hopkins with control. That ball goes out of bounds, and it'll go the other way. Hopkins doesn't give up many goals. They don't score a ton of goals, but they give up very few. Only 1 goal given up all season long. Besides that, all shutouts. 5 shutouts. The 1 goal they gave up was one of the ties they had to Lycoming. That was a 1-1 tie back on the 4th of September. As this ball comes near side, Andrus. Trinan will anchor the defense back there, number 6, and that ball goes out of bounds. And once again, a turnover, and Swarthmore gets it. Not a lot of action in the first couple minutes, as you might expect, but the ball at the feet of Johns Hopkins pretty much the entire time, at least so far. Free kick with the ball coming near side again. Trinan looking for someone streaking down the left side, unable to get it there. Here's Wallman for the first time I get to mention number 17's name. Coming out wide is Dunphy. He gets the ball. Good touch and a head ball down the far side. Forces a turn. Nice turn, though. Although it goes right to a Hopkins player. Into the box. First ball we've seen this afternoon into the box. Good head ball and a streaking Blue Jay coming in there, and we have our first corner kick of the evening. This one will bend in. Far side, skip header, and a one-timer by Dunphy, and another corner kick. This time coming to the opposite end. So back-to-back corners here in the last minute. Looking for a short corner. He goes back to the top. Number 17 with a tough shot. Lamond, but scooped up by Kral. The senior from Tokyo, Japan. Picking up his 4th start this season. Giving up an average of 2 goals a game, right on the nose. In 3 full games, he's given up 6 goals. Into the offensive zone for the first time, but out of bounds it goes, just out of the reach of Hecht. Leo Hecht, another senior from Princeton, New Jersey. A little push in the back and a nice sell by Wamond, and the ball goes back to Hopkins. Ref will ask him to move that ball back by about 5 yards. That's Meyer on the ball, number 8, the junior from Potomac. That ball just out of the reach. A lot of movement from side to side in their defensive end and into the midfield for Hopkins. Into the middle, blast, but wide of the goal. First good shot that the Garnets had this evening. I'll keep on saying this afternoon when I want to say this evening. I almost said this morning a couple of times because of the women's game. That earlier game that I had that we saw on the Garnet Sports Network, that was an 11 a.m. start. A real exciting game. Christopher Newport raced out to a 3-0 lead, and 2 late goals by the Garnet made that a real interesting last couple of seconds. But the Garnet did eventually fall. Their first loss of the year for the women. They're 6-1. Of course, 3-2 final against the defending national champions and also the top-ranked team in the country. So, pretty good game for the women earlier today. But again, their first loss. Counterattack here by Hopkins, but cleared nicely. I have a feeling we're going to see a physical game today. A little bit of pushing and shoving already. These are two teams that know each other very well. We'll play 2 45-minute halves, no overtime in college this year after the rule change. So win, lose, or draw after 90 minutes, we'll call it an evening. Makes it much easier to make dinner reservations after your 7 o'clock start time. Here's Andrus with the ball near side. Trinan will switch sides. Good touch. Again, Hopkins not with a lot of movement forward, but a heck of a lot of ball possession right now. Making life easy for the linesmen over there. And at least right now, Swarthmore happy to just let them play with the ball in their own third. There's a turnover, but a whistle. This ball in favor of Hopkins. They go to the far side. This one's centered all the way and over everybody's head. A couple of players jostling for the ball. This one goes in favor of Hopkins. And this one's cleared. Building from midfield, it's Trinan looking for some space in the middle, unable to find it, and a turnover, and we're coming the other way. The ball's turned right back over. Hopkins tries to let that one go out of bounds, but it doesn't get there, and it's a turnover. Comes right in for number 20. It was Kenny leaving it to the far side and then turned over. by Tumushabe. And Hopkins takes over. Odd play there is Hopkins, I'm not sure if they're confused a little bit by some of the lines on this field. There's a lot of lines in this field. But they thought that ball was going out of bounds and ended up with a turnover on the far side. Swarthmore not able to make him pay, but an odd turnover for the Blue Jays. Now, there are 5 different teams that play on this field. You got lacrosse on this field, soccer. So there's a lot of different lines on this field for different teams. We had lacrosse practicing this morning before the women's game. The women's lacrosse team was on here. That's Dean Chong's hustling around, and he gets the whistle. Right now, a quick whistle by the head referee on both sides. Maybe he's anticipating a physical game and wants to keep it under control and sending a message early. That was Nolan giving up the ball to Haynes. Good dish to 17. Swamond had some space to go with the ball to the left side. Instead went to the middle, and that was in the traffic, and now the ball ends up back with Crawl. And number 19, that's the gentleman I'm excited to call tonight, Sang Pashar Tanarik. He's playing left wing. Looking for a long ball down the middle, a streaking Tumushabe, and we get a whistle. I bet good money that we're going to see a couple of cards today, maybe some yellows, with the way the whistle's been blowing early. We're about 12 minutes into half number 1 of this 90-minute contest. Comes out wide to Andrews. Finds some space in the middle. Good triangle there. As Wallman goes back. And they switch sides. Confident bunch in Hopkins that they will play with the ball back on their own 18 like that. And there's 19, Sang Pashar Tanarik. Looking to make a move. Instead goes number 8, Meyer, with some opening. We go to the far side. A little bit too much. No, he does save it. Good move, looking for the inside. He gets the inside. Into the box they go. And some sustained pressure for Hopkins. Probably the first bit of sustained offensive pressure we've seen for either team so far this evening. A blast, a nice save. First diving save for either keeper so far, and Crawl gets that one. That was Chacon with the shot, number 20. For Hopkins, I mentioned the second-ranked team, or excuse me, the 12th-ranked team in the country. They're second-ranked in Region 5. And we have 2 ranked teams here tonight in Region 5. Right now, Swarthmore is ranked 5th in the region as well for D3. So you have 2 of the better teams in Region 5, the Mid-Atlantic region, playing here tonight. 2 of the top 5 teams. And I mentioned through the first 6 games that Hopkins is undefeated. And they're doing this for the 2nd straight season and 5th time since 2010 that they've been undefeated through 6. Good run up the middle. The flag stays down on sides. That's number 17, Wamond. Looks for some space in the middle, doesn't find it. And that ball is cleared. Wahman had a step on the defense there. And we got a shot to the back of the head. And that's Wahman down. The sophomore from Connecticut. He's a player. He was the 2021 Centennial Conference Rookie of the Year. He's a first-team all-conference selection as well. 2 goals, 4 assists last year. He tied for the team lead with those 4 assists last season. And this year already, 1 goal, 1 assist in 6 games. So we'll get a free kick, probably about 30, 35 out. 15 minutes into this first half. Wahman takes the hit, and he'll take the restart kick. The line set up right at the 18. Sends one in. Dangerous ball, but headed away. That's to Mashabi. Had the ball, goes back to number 15, Jackson Haynes. He's a freshman, getting the start tonight. Have about 6 or 7 Hopkins players down there stretching. Looks like we might have a mass change, more like a hockey change, where we're going to give up a different one shift for another. To the outside it goes. That's Andrews, number 25, looking for help, doesn't find it. That ball giving up one of the few missed kicks so far this evening for Trinan. Good 1-2 punch. Chacon was, number 20. Kenny was part of that. 1-2 on the near side, but the ball's turned over. Swarthmore getting a little more aggressive as Hopkins continues to really feel its way around on the defensive end. This one goes far side, on sides. Into the corner, broken up. And out of bounds. It looks like we have a goal kick coming out. Good turn of events for the home team there. Swarthmore, pretty balanced season so far. 6 goals in the first half, 5 goals in the second half for their 11 goals on the year. Collision in, not midfield, but about 30 out. And this will go in favor of Swarthmore. I saw the referee. I was looking for him. He was starting to reach for his back pocket, but I think he was just actually adjusting his pencil. I didn't know if he was going for a card there for half a second. I didn't think it deserved one, but I thought I might see it. Looks like number 14, Sean Nolan, will take this kick. Again, Hopkins setting up on the 18. There's all sorts of room in front of Nolan. Anyone wants to make a break for it. Instead, he'll lift it in. Bends one in. Not much there as Lorig fell down right around the penalty stripe. And we're coming the other way. Down the far side. Looking to make a couple moves in the box. Good battle over there. We're going to see a lot of that tonight, I believe. That's Haynes trying to play some defense. Deflects that one. Good defensive stand there. And Tumashabi tries to head it out. And we'll head all the way back. Trinan looking to come to the near side. He's got Andrews there. Instead, he goes up the middle. Sang Pashar to Nark with the ball. Good couple of moves there, but the ball goes out of bounds, and Swarthmore gets it back. Good crowd on hand this evening. A beautiful Saturday night. You could not have a nicer day for athletics in Eastern Pennsylvania. The women's game, it was warm, but a little bit of a breeze, and it wasn't hot at all. It was just real nice and warm and sunny. And tonight, it's a real nice night. As the temps will fall into the 70s as we move through this game. Play on, advantage for Hopkins. The ball gets away from the Blue Jays, and it comes back towards Swarthmore. Easy turn for Kenny. I think I mentioned early on the new turf here. They got all those new lines that they're trying to get used to, but after a 10-year stint with the old turf, they ripped it up over the summer and put this new turf down. It got finished up, at least the turf, not the track yet, but the turf got finished up just days before the season opener, or the home opener, I should say. Moved to the outside, but broken up nicely. Good fight there. And we got ourselves a whistle. I think that was Lorig down there. Yep, that was Lorig battling with Sang Pashar Tanarik. This will be Nolan taking the ball and changing sides with it. Puts a lot of air under that one. Picked up by number 17, Wamond. Blue Jays with numbers. Watch down the far side. Not a good pass, and we're moving the other way. Again, the ball goes in the air. Neither team able to really control the ball once it gets off this turf. And that's a handball, inadvertent, but a handball nonetheless by Claxon. As we've just passed the midway mark of half number one, less than 23 to go. And Hopkins trying to play patient ball right now. Looking for some space down the far side. But Haynes has played really well over there so far this evening. All the way back we come. See, they switch sides to the left side. Now they force it back to the right side. Into the corner it goes. Look for a cross here. Into the box. And the ball's out of bounds. I think they're awarding a penalty kick. Did I see a motion towards the stripe? It looked like the sideline ref called it out of bounds. But the lead referee looks like he's putting him on the stripe. Unfortunate turn for Swarthmore. There was really nowhere for him to go. He was almost going out of bounds. But instead, number 17, Wamond, is there with the ball ready to take a penalty kick here. With 21 minutes left in half number one. So Krall stands in. And the righty will take this. A shot and a goal. Goal number one this evening. Off a penalty kick. For number 17 for Wamond, that is goal number 2 this season. 2 goals and 1 assist on the year. And Hopkins takes the lead. Again, unfortunate, that ball was right along the baseline. And we have our first sub as number 7 comes in. This is the other Wamond. They're brothers. This is Alex Wamond. So we have Alex in there, and we have Ian in there. Ian just picking up the goals. Number 17 for Ian, who is the younger of the two. The gentleman just came in. Alex is the older one. We have a sophomore and a senior. So 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Swarthmore, some work to do.
Blue Jays goal by number 17, Ian Wamond.
We'll see if that goal puts Swarthmore in more of a position to press on offense. They'd been sitting back a little bit and seemed pretty happy with that, as they were allowing Hopkins to really control the play mostly from their defensive end. But into the offensive end, here they come again. And this one's going the other way. It was the bull in a china shop right there. Number 18 setting to come in for the Blue Jays as well. It's Jonathan Quee.
Entering game for Swaz, number 22, Kaito Aquino. For Hopkins is on 7, Axel Wamond.
Saw number 22 come in. Aquino came in, the freshman midfielder from Washington State. We have 2 subs coming in soon for Hopkins. In addition to Quee, we'll see Tyler White as well, number 11. And a player down, we have a stoppage. I believe that's Haynes down there on the far side. Looks like he's going to shake this one off, and we'll continue to play. So here comes number 18 in. That's Quee, sophomore from Plano, Texas. We also had our first yellow card, by the way, on that ball that knocked Haynes to the ground, and that play that knocked Haynes to the ground. Under 20 left in half number 1. Matt Fine with you on the Garnet Sports Network. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. As we got 2 of the better teams in the Centennial going head-to-head early in the season. And a 1-0 lead for Hopkins on a penalty kick if you're just joining us. Off the foot of Ian Wamond.
Number 18, Jonathan Quee.
The ball sent in the middle by number 5. That was Heck, but cleared away. And we'll see a throw in. That's Lorig who'll be throwing this ball in. Into the box it goes, but headed away. Good fight there for the ball. Cleared by Hopkins, but plenty of time and space. The ball goes out of bounds instead. So that's Sean Nolan, number 14, will throw it in. Nope, he'll give it up. It'll go back to Lorig. Been a quiet first half for Tumashave, one of the more dangerous players on the field right now for Swarthmore. Dangerous ball, couple of different Swarthmore players there, but Hopkins able to gain control, and into the box it goes. Out of bounds. And a goal kick. Here comes number 11, as I mentioned earlier. It's Tyler White coming in.
Entering for Hopkins, number 11, Tyler White.
Coming in for number 27. It's Julian Law Disa. The preseason poll, Hopkins was picked to finish first in the Centennial. 5 first-place votes. Franklin Marshall, Gettysburg, picked 2 and 3, and then you have Swarthmore, followed by the defending champs in Washington College. Flag went up, but they play on. The advantage for the Blue Jays. And cleared away by number 15. That was Haynes. So a throw in for Hopkins. Quick throw in right into the box. Good turnaround, but ball gets through everybody. Now we're heading in the other direction. Good fight along the far side. Wins by the Blue Jays as they take control. A lot of space to move into the offensive end, but the ball is turned over. And we're heading in the other direction, but Hopkins has numbers. Last couple of games for Swarthmore. A win against Juniata. They won 4-2. Those 4 goals, the most they've scored so far this season. They had 4 different goal scorers in that afternoon game. Claxton, Wynn, Caligari, and Freddie Lynn each had goals in that game. And then a very odd game against Keene. That one here, a 2-1 win. Cramblett and Kenny with goals in that game. Keene played with a man down pretty much the entire game. They lost one of their men to a red card at the 13-minute mark. They were still able to hang in there, but just not enough as a late goal by Swarthmore picked up that 2-1 win. It looks like we have a sub coming in, 1 for each. But a throw in first. The next availability. Into the middle we go, and the ball goes out of bounds. And this is some news. As you watch number 8 come in, the Stathis Calotheus seeing some time. He had surgery over the summer. And now coming in for, I believe, his first minutes of the season. Stathis, excuse me.
Subbing for the Garnet, number 8, Stathis Calatheus.
Stathis is one of the best players in this team, if not when he's healthy, the best player in this team. So we'll see how coach wants to use him. Again, he hasn't played much. He's coming off an injury. But when healthy, he is as good as they get in this league. We also saw number 3 come in, Sam Martin for Hopkins. So keep your eye on number 8. Again, Calatheus getting his first action of the season, I believe. I mentioned a great atmosphere tonight. There's plenty of fans in the crowd on the near side of the bleachers, but you can also see on the far side on the hill between the soccer field and what is the baseball field in the dark back there, all sorts of fans lined up, especially top right of your screen right now. You can see all sorts of fans lined up there. As we are under 13 minutes left in half number one. So Stathis Calatheus coming in. He's a junior from London. Plays in the midfield. He's very dangerous coming forward, though. He's got the ball on the far side. He's hard to miss. Coming the other way, the Blue Jays. That ball broken up, but not cleared. Controlled nicely for a minute there, a second there by Hopkins, but still unable to gain control. With the heel, the ball does eventually go out of bounds, and it's in favor of the Garnet. We've got one goal so far in this game on a penalty kick by Wamond. That's our score, 1-0. Penalty kick coming after a trip inside the box, right along the baseline, the far side. Bad touch by Calatheus. We're going the other way to the far side into the corner. Right at the 12-yard mark, but cleared away, nobody home. This brings it back to 19 Cramblett. Over to Kenny. And Swarthmore reset. There's space there for number 12. Lorig does get the ball on the near side. So Coach Wagner's trying to get Calatheus used to game action. You expect him to play a handful of minutes in both halves. My guess is he'll play for the rest of this half and then maybe 10 to 15 minutes in half number two as he will slowly work him into the lineup. But the healthier he gets, the more minutes he will play as he's got the ball on the near side. Looking for the ball, calls for it. Good turn, but a little bit of a trip there. And Lorig unable to control the ball, and it goes out of bounds. Under 10 minutes left in the first half.
Subbing in for Hopkins, number 23, Mike Birch, and number 2, Jacob Hammond.
Birch coming in, Hammond coming in, Jacob Hammond. Little push in the back, and they do get that call. Antonio Caligari getting ready to come in. We've seen a lot of this, a lot of possession on their third defensive half for the Blue Jays. They're about as good as you get on defense. And I think you really saw that in their win against Cortland. Remember, Cortland beat Swarthmore 4-0 here. And then Cortland, about a week later, went to Baltimore and took on Hopkins, and Hopkins shut him out 2-0. And that win, out of all the wins they've had this year, that really is the one that vaulted them into the top 25 nationally. Because Cortland's a real good ball club. That's a team that went deep into the NCAA tournament last year. They came into that game against Hopkins, ranked 10th in the nation, and Hopkins took it to them and shut them out. So a team that put up 4 goals against Swarthmore, shut out by Hopkins. It gives you an idea of just how good the Blue Jays defense can be, or really is. Clothier with the ball, looking for some space. Down the far side, a little counterattack, but nobody home. Ball cleared. Oh, it's a nice touch. Throwing for the Blue Jays. Trying to go on to the other side. Good turn with momentum down the center of the field, but Crawl comes out, picks that one out of the air. Most of the possession in favor of the Blue Jays so far, but I don't think you can say that either team has dominated any part of this game other than that time of possession, which is a big deal, but there were a lot of horizontal movement for the Blue Jays as opposed to vertical, going from side to side on their defensive end. Good ball into the corner. And out of bounds it goes. Another good defensive play by Hopkins. And we have another substitution. In comes number 7. It's Caligari. Coming in for Henry Lynn. Approaching the 5-minute mark remaining in half number 1. Streaking down the near side, looking for some momentum, and into space that ball goes. Just a half a step out of the reach of Wahman, number 7, and out of bounds. It's one of the few times we've seen the Blue Jays really go north-south. Here comes number 9. Freddie Lynn coming in. And Brandon Cramblett comes out. Again, in most of the play for the Blue Jays has been side to side. That was a north-south rush right there, but the ball just a little bit too far for the offensive player. Working back to the ball. Let's see number 8, Clothier. He's got the ball. Now looking to turn. Nice pass over to the far side. Trying to make a move, broken up, coming the other way. Wahman with a head of steam. Trying to get himself into the box. Dishes it up, and it's broken up. And we're coming the other way. Freddie Lynn gave up the ball there, and to the far side we go. Look for the centering pass here. Into the box it goes, but unable to do much with it. And a goal kick for Swarthmore. We do have a 1-0 score, but we haven't seen a ton of really good scoring chances for either team. Officially, shots 5-1 in favor of Hopkins. Shots on goal 3-0 in favor of Hopkins. They have both corners as well. Lorg with the ball on the near side. Looking for someone running. He gets that person running, which is number 9. That's Lynn. Too much. And Morgret is there. Morgret pitching a shutout here in half number 1. Already leads the nation in shutouts. Although you got to watch out for that, as that ball gets away and almost turned into a corner. No time was that going to be a goal, but it was almost an unforced error that led to a corner for Swarthmore, but Morgret gets there just in time. Under 2 minutes left in half number 1. When we wrap up the first half, we'll take about a 15-minute break, and then we hope you'll rejoin us for the final 45 this evening. Good pass into space. Tumashabe unable to catch up to it off the foot of Caligari. Quick throw in. Look for Swarthmore to switch sides.
1 minute remaining in the opening half.
You have Lorg right there trying to make a move. Good pass into the middle, but not the touch you want. The ball goes back to Hopkins. We're under a minute, counting it down from 40 seconds right now in half number 1. Crawl comes out a little bit to help with the offense. Maybe one more rush for the Garnet. Couple of moves. Tumashabe unable to get it into the middle, trying once again. Haven't heard much from him today. A lot of dipsy-do down there. Sends it back. Good move. See if Lorg sends it, and he does. Into the box. Goalie comes out. Punches it out. Good play by Morgret. And that will do it likely for half number 1. As we count it down, 5 seconds to go, we will end the half with a 1-0 game in favor of the visitors. A penalty kick by Wammen, the only goal we've seen so far in the first 45. So we'll take a break, a 15-minute halftime break. When we come back, we'll do it again, another 45 for you. Stick around on the Garnet Sports Network. Welcome back to the Garnet Sports Network. Matt Fine with you. A 1-0 soccer match. Hopkins leading on a penalty kick from Ian Wamond. The only goal we've seen so far in this game. Some halftime stats for you. Shots on goal, 3-0 in favor of Hopkins. Overall shots, 5-1. 2 corners both taken by Hopkins as well, each team with a yellow card. 14 fouls in half number 1, 9 on the side of Swarthmore. So we'll go 45 more minutes in this one, as the Garnet will look to do something that very few teams have done so far this year to Hopkins, and that would be put a ball in the back of the net. Hopkins only giving up 1 goal so far this year, and that came against Lycoming back on the 4th of September. That's the only blemish defensively for this team, as they come in at 4-0-2, ranked 12th in the nation. And here we go, final 45, moving right to left in white. You have Swarthmore. Into the box quickly is number 19. That was Cramblett. I think Hopkins looking for a handball there. They don't get it. Little bicycle kick. Looks nice. You're likely to see a little bit more of a frantic offensive pace for Swarthmore here in the second half. They really let Hopkins play with the ball a lot in their own third, pretty much up to midfield. But now that it's 1-0 and we're into the second half, I don't anticipate that Coach Wagner will allow his squad to do that. They're going to put some pressure on that back line for the Blue Jays. Tumushabi trying to create some room for himself. He does just that. Keeps control. It's Kenny with the ball. A bad pass. It goes back to midfield. Claxton in the middle. Swarthmore really wanted to crack that ball right at the top of the 18, but didn't really find any space. Into the corner it goes. Good fight in the corner. Won by Swarthmore. Trying to gain control. A little nutmeg there, it looked like. The ball goes out of bounds. And a throw-in in favor of the Garnet. Oh, excuse me, it's going the other way. Thrown in favor of Hopkins. Good pace early on in the second half for Swarthmore. They've taken control of this game in the first few minutes. Noisy group of fans right in front of me. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the women's team in front of me. There's about 15 or so, maybe even more women right in front of me. Of course, they played earlier today and lost 3-2, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, to the top-ranked team in the country in Christopher Newport. We had that game earlier for you. You can always see all the games on the Garnet Sports Network on our YouTube channel. You can watch them again if you'd like. That was a pretty good game. Swarthmore fell behind 3-0. 2 late goals made it real interesting, real late, but just not enough. His time ran out on the Garnet there. And then we got another tough one here, another close one, 1-0. All down the far side, but out of reach. It's Morgret. Another whistle. Ref's telling Hopkins to stay on their feet, but he's making the call anyway. A little bit of a contradiction in term, but nonetheless, Hopkins with the ball. They're trying to move forward for the first time in this half. throw in, a quick one, and they bring him back a little bit. It was Wahman trying to do that quick throw. Instead, he sends it back to Falzerano. And this ball is coming out. Not a lot of space on the near side as the ball's turned over and we're coming the other way, but now the reach of number 27, that's Ladisa. Is the first day of conference play in the Centennial for the men. Is into the box. They're trying to get in the box for the Blue Jays, but that ball is broken up. Could be some scores in a second here as we try to move this ball out of the defensive zone for Swarthmore and let them get it out of trouble before I start giving you some other scores. Leading a ball down the wing into the corner. We have a race. Good play, little physical play in the far corner. No whistle, and the clear goes off ahead of a Hopkins player. And that'll get the crowd all jacked up. As Hopkins was looking for a penalty there, they didn't get the call, and that was a dangerous moment. Both teams trying to gain control here. We have a stop. And we're getting a little heated here all of a sudden. We have a stoppage of play because it looked like a player took a boot to the face, but he's back up. That's Meyer, by the way, number 8, who took that shot to the face, right to the chin. If he's bleeding, it looks like he's going to have to come out. So Meyer steps out for a little bit. And it looks like they're going to bring in number 2. That's Jacob Hammond. I guess they're just going to have a drop ball here as a result of that stoppage by the referee. Clock is also stopped. So possession in favor of Swarthmore, and we move back to play. That's Haynes with the ball. Basically going north-south right into traffic, though, and gives up the ball. Just staying on side. We have a trip coming back. Or is it an offsides? Looks like that's an offsides call. The trip happened after the offsides. So Swarthmore holds on to the ball. So I was mentioning some scores opening night or opening day in the Centennial. Muhlenberg 3, McDaniel 1. That game is final. Dickinson went to Haverford and picked up a win 3-2. Franklin and Marshall stops Washington College. And that game at Franklin and Marshall, that final 1-0. That game just ended a few minutes ago. And we have 2 evening games that are still going on. The one you're watching, of course, Hopkins up on Swarthmore 1-0. We have no score, Gettysburg at Ursinus. That game in the second half, basically playing at the same pace as ours. There's about 36, 37 minutes left in that game as well. Ball into the box. Fight as the ball goes out of bounds. And with a goal kick. And we're looking for a sub to come in. And we have just that. This is number 8, Francis Meyer.
Anthony for Hopkins, number 8, Francis Meyer.
Meyer comes back in. Hammond comes out. It looks like number 2. Another whistle and a clip from behind. I'm going to update my stats with all the penalties we've seen. 19 fouls called so far this evening. 11 for Swarthmore and 8 for Johns Hopkins. So 19 whistles. That's a lot. And here's another one. And this is going to bring out a card for number 17. This one a push from behind, and Wamond will get the yellow. That's the second yellow for the Blue Jays this evening. And foul number 20 on the evening as well for both teams combined. Three yellow cards in all by the gentleman in yellow. You can hear the Hopkins bench saying, keep up the intensity. So clock stops on the yellow. With more than 35 minutes left in half number 2. The clock rolls. The ball goes into the box. A lot of players there. One by Swarthmore into the middle. Just past the goal mouth. I tell you, Tumushabi was right there. Missing it by about a foot. Definitely a more intense half so far for Swarthmore. They probably heard it from their coach at halftime. And this ball is cleared. So yeah, Swarthmore again sat back a lot in that first half. And another whistle. And them sitting back in that first half, it didn't really hurt them. It just didn't. They didn't really put together any consistent offense, any consistent pushes. And that's changed here in half number 2. They come out down 1-0. And they are not letting Hopkins play with that ball as much in the back in that defensive half as they did in the first half. A quick throw in. Hopkins trying to match the intensity that Swarthmore's brought to the table here in half number 2. Elias sending it all the way back to Trinan. And we're turning the other way. And down goes number 22. So Aquino goes down. And we have a free kick coming the other direction. Swarthmore will put a lot of guys right on that 18, right on the edge of the box. Desperately looking for that equalizer. Into the box it goes. Headed away in a one-timer, but way over the net. And that was Nolan taking that free kick. Nothing coming out of it except for a goal kick. Swarthmore trying to improve on its season last year, 11-5-2 overall, 6-2-1. Third straight winning season. Lost in the Centennial Conference opener to Gettysburg. Then made it to the NCAA tournament. Lost to Stevens 1-0 in that tournament as well. So they're looking to get back to that big dance and also hopefully go farther in the Centennial. For Hopkins last season, 12-5-2, excuse me, 7-2 in conference. And they lost in the second round of the NCAA to Carroll, John Carroll, 2-1. Here comes a throw-in into the box, looking for a skip header. Don't get it, and that ball is cleared away. Good pass to the outside. The ball goes out of bounds, coming the other way. Good touch to the outside. Oh, looking for Tumushabe, but unable to get him. Again, the crowd growing and growing on the far side of the field, by the way. Most fans I've seen at the game so far this year. It's early in the year, but you would expect a great crowd. Hopkins travels well, and it's a great Saturday night on campus, an evening game, so a lot of students out here. Seems for the most part you got parents on the near side and a whole lot of students on the far side. Looking for some space on the turnover. Let's see what we got there. Do we have a goal kick? We do. So goal kick in favor of the Blue Jays. We have ourselves a couple of subs, 7 coming in and 11 coming in. So that's Wahman coming in. He's number 7. And Tyler White is number 11.
Hopkins, number 7, Axel Wahman, and number 11, Tyler White.
Trying to build from the defensive end again is Hopkins. We saw this a lot in the first half. A lot of east to west as opposed to north south. But here they come looking for a rush, but they turn the ball over. That's Heck coming the other way. Just out of bounds. I can't tell. We have a Swarthmore player down on the far side. Can't tell if that's Tumushabe. He's too far away for me to see a number. Looks like he might have pulled up a little bit on that slide. And we're going to need a substitution here. It looks okay. He's up and running. Yeah, I think that's Tumushabe. He'll have to come out. And it's looking like Freddie Lynn will come in for him. So here's Tumushabe stepping out after making that sliding effort out of bounds. Here comes Lynn, a junior forward from Ohio. And more penalties. Difficult with all these penalties to get a real flow for the game. The game is stopping pretty consistently. And as a result, it's difficult for either team, really, to put together a cohesive offensive push. This ball goes into the box, headed away. Pretty good first touch. As Heck looks to make a move inside, but loses the ball. Almost gets it back. Real good hustle by the senior from Princeton. That ball bounces into the box. Controlled for a half a second by Swarthmore, but now coming out. It'll be a throw-in in favor of the Garnet. Again, we have 22 penalties called, and we still have about 27 plus minutes left in this game. Blue Jays just happy to kind of play with that ball back there until they find a hole. Finally going north-south and giving the ball up. A couple of good touches by the Garnet. And then penalty in the back, and down goes number 7. And he's on the ground for Swarthmore. That's Caligari. You see Coach Wagner just giving it to the sideline judge right now because he can't talk to the head referees too far away as that ball goes into the box and headed away. Tell you, regardless of the number of penalties we see tonight, we have some sore soccer players tomorrow morning. A lot of times Sunday is that mandatory day off in the NCAA. You got to have one day off a week. Most of the time, it's a Sunday. Not always, but usually. My guess is that both teams will have off tomorrow. Watch a little bit of football, American football, and hang out with a lot of ice packs all over the body as they get ready for the next week ahead. Swarthmore after tonight back in action. On Tuesday they head to St. David's to take on Eastern. And then they'll jump back into conference with 3 straight conference games. 2 on the road and 1 at home. They'll go away, home, and away in those next 3. I'll tell you about that in a second as the ball is sent into the middle. Too much air on it. And a crack by number 5, but wide on the shot by Heck. Got a couple of subs coming in. That is number 3. Sam Martin comes in for the Blue Jays, and number 6, Dean Chong for Swarthmore. So I was mentioning after the Eastern game on Tuesday, then we move to Saturday the 24th of September, where the Garnet will head to Gettysburg. Then on Wednesday they'll be home against Ursinus. And then on the 1st of October, they'll head to McDaniel. So back-to-back-to-back Centennial Conference games after they leave conference on Tuesday to take on Eastern. A lot of points on the board in these next couple of weeks, especially in the next week at these 4 conference games. All between now and October 1st, these next 2 weeks. We're approaching the midway mark of half number 2. A little more than 23 minutes left in the second half. It's still a 1-0 score. The only goal coming off a penalty kick taken by Wamond, number 17. Besides that, both defenses have been real strong today. I've talked a lot about the Hopkins defense, but Swarthmore has been just as good today, with the exception of that one foul right along the baseline. Unfortunate play. They tripped up the Hopkins player. Only one shutout so far this year for Swarthmore. It's a team that has given up goals. They gave up those 4 goals to Cortland, 2 goals to Juniata. They did win that game 4-2, but they gave up a 2 spot there. They were up 2-0 in that game, then gave up 2, and then scored 2. So it was tied up for a while after blowing a 2-goal lead, but they ended up winning by a couple. But this is a good defensive effort so far this evening. Nudged off the ball. They play on advantage. Swarthmore, we haven't seen too much of that this evening, an advantage call. Turns out to be a pretty good call. Streaking down the side. Into the middle, just slipping. Quick throw in. Swarthmore looking to build again on the far side. Garnet with the better of the play here in the second half, but not a lot of real strong opportunities on Morgret. Ball into the box, and just as I say that, a diving play and a penalty. As Morgan gets dirty for the first time, I think this afternoon or this evening, excuse me. We're going to have a sub 2 come in soon for Hopkins. That'll be number 19. Sang Pashar Tanarik will come in. He started the game. Now he's seeing some second half action here as he comes in for Wamond. Looking for a handball there, and they do get it. For a second, the ref looked like he wanted to give advantage, but there was no advantage there. So we have a restart for Hopkins. I mentioned Swarthmore's upcoming schedule. I'll try to get to Hopkins as well. This is the first of 4 straight in the Centennial for the Blue Jays. Good play into the box. Little heel kick. It is broken up. As that was Dunphy, who had the ball for a second, but unable to hold on to it, and the ball is cleared away. And here comes Swarthmore trying to put some pressure on the back 4. Long pass. And it looked like there was a step. That was a nice ball put into the box from one side to the other. But White unable to really control it. So these next 4 games after the Swarthmore game today, Hopkins has the rest of the week off, or they rest of next week off until Saturday, where they will host Haverford on the 24th. Then they'll host McDaniel on the 28th. That's a Wednesday. And then they'll go on the road for the fourth of those 4 straight Centennial Conference games. They'll head to Gettysburg. So a big stretch for Hopkins here. Ball in the center, just over the head and out of bounds. It's a really good effort and a really good opportunity. And a close one as number 9 comes in for Hopkins. Just out of the reach. That was Caligari coming in there trying to put a head on that ball. He was about 6 inches taller. He might have gotten a little bit of a head on there, but went over his head and out of bounds. Mentioned number 9 coming in. That's Biggs. And he is big, by the way. The name fits. 6'4" is Ben Biggs. The forward, 195 from Australia. We're under 20 left in the second half, 18 minutes to be more precise. Is Hopkins happy right now just to kind of play with the ball a little bit and try to tick off some time. There's still plenty of time left in this game for Swarthmore to get that equalizer. Along the near sideline, I see Clothier warming up. That ball's centered. Clothier seeing time in the first half. It was a surprise to see him come off the bench. He's looking to get back in here in half number 2. Played about 15 minutes in that first half. Now as we hit the 17-minute mark remaining, it looks like he might very well come in for the last 12 to 15 minutes of half number 2 as well. At the top, a rip by Francis Meyer, but right at Crawl. Ball controlled by Cramblett. Back to Claxon. To Cramblett. An opportunity in the box, centering the ball, but cleared away. There was one player in there. Hopkins really had numbers in there. Claxon again. Swarthmore doing a good job of playing in tight space until that ball got by Claxon. And here comes a sub. No, are they going to let him in? Nope, not quite yet. They'll do it on the next opportunity. We'll see Clothier. Wouldn't it be appropriate as he's coming back from an injury late in the game against Swarthmore's biggest rival? He was able to do some damage here. And he played about 15 in the first half, and we're at that 15-minute mark right now remaining in the second half. So you know Coach Wagner knows exactly what he wants to do with his all-star players, all-conference player. So number 8's coming in. Clothier, and number 16 coming in as well, to Mashabi. The two of the better offensive players now on the pitch for the Garnet. We're under 15 left in half number 2 in this 1-0 game. The only goal being that penalty kick.
for the Garnet. Number 8, Stathis Clothier. Number 16, Bless Kumachada. And for the Jays, number 23, Mike First.
Down the far side, looking to keep the ball in bounds. It does stay in bounds. Tumushabe playing around with it, trying to find some space. He's got about 3 or 4 dark jerseys right in front of him. He keeps on working. Now he brings it back out. Trying to center the ball, but it's ricocheted out of bounds. We'll see a throw in for the white. Right at the top of the box. Good ball to Lynn. Lynn sends it to the far side. Brought down, good touch by Tumushabe, but he loses the ball after that. And a stoppage there and a foul from behind. And looks like we got ourselves a yellow card for number 6. So Chong picks up a yellow. I think that's the 4th yellow we've seen this evening. Excuse me, the 6th yellow card we've seen this evening. 4 yellow cards for Swarthmore, 2 for Hopkins. Losing count. I'll have to use my second hand for this one. Near side. It's Meyer with the ball. Top of the box. He goes back. Moves to the far side. We're playing left to right again, east-west. Overlap, a nice ball in the overlap, looking for a centering play. Nothing there. This one now comes into the center. Tries to skip it with the heel, but there are a couple of white jerseys right there. On the near side, Falzerano. Looking for the ball again. Shows himself nicely. Elias had that ball. He's number 28. But gives it up. Clothier is right there. Tries to push wide to get the ball. Instead, the ball is switched sides to the far side. There goes Claxton. And we're moving back to Nolan, number 14, as he looks to set it up. Down into the corner, onside to Mushabe. See if he works with his left foot. Instead, he goes to the right foot. Bending kick in there. Nice centering ball, but nobody home. That's really exactly where you want to put it, but there were no white jerseys in that box. The fine area between where the goalie would come out, and that ball comes in with pacing, where that goalie would come out and where he wouldn't. And that ball was put in an area where it was just had too much pace and was a little bit too far out for the goalie to pick it up. But again, no white jerseys there. Ball sent down, but a nice fight by Nolan to get it out of there. Swarthmore coming the other way. Lynn fighting off a couple of pesky Johns Hopkins players. Claxton all the way on the side. There's Claxton getting the ball. And he goes down, but they'll play on. There's an advantage. Too much pace on that ball. And now we'll stop. So they gave advantage to Swarthmore, but then called a penalty anyway. So it's a restart for the Garnet. As we are now under 10 minutes left in this second half. Time running out for Swarthmore, down 1-0. Clothier with the ball, gives it up. Swarthmore just trying to get in the box. A tough shot with the right foot. Claxon, but a nice save there by Morgret. One of the better offensive opportunities of this game for the Garnet. Unfortunately, right at the keeper, though, if you're a Swarthmore fan. Good touch. Couple quick touches down the near side to Mushabe with the ball. Looking to make a couple moves. Loses the ball. Had like 3 different defenders in front of him. Need to give that one up. He's trying to work in a tight spot. Space down for number 9. Coming onto it. A one-on-one with the goalie. And just wide was Ben Biggs. Biggs found space. Got a great ball in stride. And the big guy found himself in the box one-on-one with Kral, but unable to put it in. He had that open net, but just couldn't get his foot around it. And hit the outside part of the goal. Maybe just touched the outside part of that post. But regardless, still a 1-0 game with 8 minutes left now in half number 2. Obstruction call there. It's going the other way. Or going with Hopkins. Getting ready to see Jacob Hammond come in as he warms up for the Blue Jays. Hopkins looking to blank Swarthmore for another year. Last year was a 2-0 win for the Blue Jays over the Garnet. That game in Baltimore, almost around the exact same time a year ago. Right now, they played on September 18th last year in that game. It's just one day off of last year's match. They're playing again. That ball in the box. Good ball coming out. That goes into the net, but they called offside. So you saw Kral make the save, but he didn't have to. As that flag came up on the near side line judge. A lot of excitement, but a dead ball nonetheless. Instead, they kick it away. That ball goes out of bounds. A little bit too much pace on that coming from Kral. Haynes unable to catch up to it, so a throw-in in favor of Hopkins. Time ticking away. We have another substitution here. Under 7 minutes to go. And that sub before Leo Heck coming in for Lynn. And Chacon comes in and Hammond comes in for Johns Hopkins. Looking to go wide with the ball. They do. Look at the overlap. Nice play right there for number 20, Kenny. Kenny with the move into the box. Still has control. Tripped up, but they play on. That's a good tackle there as well to break up that play. Back to Claxon. That went into traffic and it's cleared away. Looking for the counter into the corner. Hoping to leave that ball going to go out of bounds. It does not, though. Instead of a goal kick for Swarthmore, we have a throw-in for Hopkins. Now under 5 minutes remaining. Right now, the only goal, the game-winning goal, is a penalty kick in the first half by Wamond. His second goal of the season. Hopkins 4 minutes away from another shutout. Already among the leaders in the nation in shutouts. If they are able to pick it up, it'd be their 5th straight shutout and 6th shutout in 7 games this year. Swarthmore just trying to get it out of the box right now. And they will after that penalty call, that foul. I'm not sure what you had for the over-under for fouls in this game, but we've just hit 30. And now we have 31. You knew it'd be physical between these two teams, but 30 fouls, 31 fouls now. 6 yellow cards. And just 1 goal on a penalty kick. Of course, I guess it's appropriate. So far, the only goal that's come in this game was off a foul. Haynes with the ball. Over to Claxton. Heck. Good ball in to the box. Kenny's done some damage in that box. He's got 2 guys on him, ends up giving it up. But he has put a lot of good pressure on Hopkins. Here's Heck again. To Mushabe, looking for some space. A shot, it's deflected, but into the waiting arms of Morgret. Under 3 minutes to go. We saw the women earlier with a very late goal. And we're looking for the men to do the same thing. The women scored with about a minute or so left in the game. Streaking down the near side, into the box it goes. A centering pass by Claxton, but no one home. Or at least not close enough that Morgret was able to pick it up. So Morgret holding the ball as long as they will allow him to do so, as we now have a minute 45 left in this game. Remember, no overtime. So right now it looks like Swarthmore looking to play for a possible tie at best. Good pass into space. The shot and a kick save. Very well done. That was Birch. Looked like he got his foot on that. But then with the kick save, hockey styles crawl. So that keeps it at 1-0, but the seconds are ticking away. 70 seconds left now in this contest. And on the corner kick, they can take all the time they want, Ken Hopkins. They can do a short corner here if they want, and the clock stops at exactly 1 minute. They can do a short corner here to try to eat up some more time. As White comes in, Tyler White. Looking for some fresh legs here in the final minute. They do just that, a short corner just to eat up some time. And they get another corner kick. Clock hasn't started moving yet, though. It's still at 1 minute. Not sure why the clock isn't moving. I think every player on the bench for Hopkins sees it. You saw about 20 different players pointing towards the scoreboard, as during that first corner kick, not a second came off the clock. So now we're at 52, though. So they finally started that clock. And the clock is not moving again. It finally starts to move. Swarthmore picked up about 15 seconds on those 2 different corners as the clock did not move. But now it's moving, and we have a throw-in. Under 40 seconds left, and they're fiddling with the ball in the offensive zone for Hopkins. Big seconds ticking away. Under 25 now. Hopkins just happy to play with this ball and get it, keep it in their offensive zone. Under 10. One last chance for Swarthmore, and it's not going to be enough. This game will end in a 1-0 win. A hard-fought win. The lone goal coming off a penalty kick from Wamond, his second of the season. That goal coming in the first half. Both teams giving it all they had on this beautiful evening of soccer. With that 1-0 win, Hopkins moves to 5-0-2, 1-0 in conference. Swarthmore falls to 4-2 overall, 0-1 in the Centennial. Shots on goal, 5-2 in favor of Hopkins. Overall shots, 9-6. And we end the game with 31 fouls and 6 yellow cards. So a good game, a tight game between two of the top teams in the Centennial. And this one goes in favor of the visitors. That will do it for us here on the Garnet Sports Network. We hope you enjoyed both broadcasts today. We had the women earlier today and the men this evening. I'm Matt Fine. I hope everybody has a wonderful Saturday, a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hope to see you back here real soon. Take care, everybody.